Okay guys, we're going to do a quick recap on today's trades. Today we traded two stocks. We traded BLU and AYRO. So we'll pull up our first trade of the day, which was on BLU. This one was interesting because it was a pretty huge drop. It was trading at 12.25 the day before, and then it hit pre-market. It hit a low of 221. So the potential that it had was a bottom bounce. So from 1225 down to 220, a potential bounce up, maybe up to $8, $7. So that was the potential. Of course, it did not play out that way, and a possible entry would have been here, which we have an apex point there at 345. We ended up taking a trade a little bit before that. I'll show you here on the 1 minute chart my entry. Let me delete this. So here we could kind of see that it was curling up. We saw the declining volume on this pullback, and as we saw this curling back up, we saw green volume coming in, and we took a trade here over 75 for a potential at least a tap of VWAP, which was around 85, and then a possible move up to 3 and then 315 and then higher. So here we can see the apex point was 316, that level there. Then the next level would have been 345, and then just continue higher. It was too weak. There wasn't enough buying, so we ended up cutting it loose pretty much right away. Got in around 76, sold at 72. Did not stick around for it to continue go down lower. Of course, we can see that it kind of just consolidated here. It did not do much. It just stayed around this level, this trading range. On this candle, it dropped down to 265, but it was an unnecessary hold, so we just cut it loose. The next stock that we traded was AYRO. AYRO was a setup pre-market. Pre-market, it had made a pretty nice move. It was trading around 333, and then it hit a high of 528. So here you can see that it pulled back. It pulled back here. Potential gap and go set up here at 506 for a move up to 543. We'll jump into the 1 minute chart so we can see how we traded this one. So on this one, we can see here that potential gap and go entry would have been at 504 for a move up to 543. I did not take this trade because the level 2 on it was too crowded. It was not very clean. You could not find a real clean entry, so I decided to hold back on it, although gap and go setups have been working pretty nicely. It was a decision to just kind of sit tight on it, and I was just glad that I stuck to my rules. Of course, on this candle, you had a high of 528 and a low of 465, so that's a pretty huge drop. That's what I was afraid of out of the gates, since it was already kind of extended. A flush out of the gates, and then a break of VWAP and potentially go lower. In this case, it broke VWAP and then it broke it to the upside, then consolidated around it, and then it made a move higher, pull back here, candle to make a new high from 530 up to 580, pulled back. On this pullback, the potential entry here was at 63. On this candle to make a new high from 63 up to 75, so nice 10 cents give or take. So I jumped in on the micro pullback of 575 on this candle to make a new high. So we saw this 575, we know that was the high on this candle. So on the next candle, if I saw a green volume coming in, I was going to jump in. I jumped in at 575, sold up here on 585. Nice little 10 cents profit. Here it just kind of consolidated, it dipped, then made a new high, false break, and it just continued to go lower. So captured nice 10 cents of profit there. Today was a pretty small day. It was maybe a slightly green or break even day. The follow through was not as clean. This stock AY AYRO had a lot of volume in it. It had around 40 million shares of volume traded today. Here we'll see how much volume we have. 142 million shares of volume traded already, and it's barely not even 11, well, barely 11 o'clock in the morning. So very heavily traded. It was not very clean. So the past few days we've had gap and go setups work. We'll kind of just see what this week will hold. This week in the beginning, today Monday, we could see that the gap and go setup did work. So of course we want to keep that in mind for next potential trades. All right, guys, that's it. Any questions, just let me know. Thanks.